Hi, I'm Norman Liss. The name of the program is The Way to Go. I invite you to join me as we explore places to go and things to do. This is a little different kind of an exploration. There was a performance that was put on not long ago at the Performing Arts Center at Purchase College, and it was a benefit for an organization. I was so intrigued by the benefit that I wanted to know more about the organization. And that organization is the Children's Dream Foundation. You're going to learn a lot more about that and the benefit and what goes on, because my guest today is the president, and his name is Scott Yablon. Scott, so glad that you can come here from your busy duties at Forbes magazine.
Nice to be here,
and talk to us about the Children's Dream Foundation. Let's talk about the benefit first. Who are the stars, as if I don't know?
Well, we had Melissa Manchester headlining the benefit concert, and comedian Susie Essman. And it was just a terrific night. Very successful for us. Melissa did a terrific job. We're very fortunate to get her to perform for us. And Susie Essman brought the house down. So it was quite an evening.
Did you talk about her parents? Did you talk about her father? Because I know her father. She's, of course, from Westchester originally.
Yes, she actually spoke a lot about her mother. But it was a very, very funny show for her, and it was very successful.
Putting on a benefit, you read about organizations putting on benefits because in order to do the good work that you do, you've got to raise money.
Exactly.
And is this one of the best ways of doing it?
Well, we've gone the route of black tie events, and they're very successful for us. We found that a lot of people like to come to a concert. It's casual, and they have a great time, and we're able to not only fundraise but friend raise.
Uh-huh.
And where we would have 400 to 500 people.
I like that term. Sorry to interrupt you.
No,
friend raise, very good term. Yeah.
We would have 400 to 500 people attend a black tie. We were able to have over 1,100 people at the concert. So it was it's a great way to make friends and to have an audience to talk about the Children's Dream Foundation.
Yeah, and the Children's Dream Foundation, what's its function? What's its basic premise and thrust? It's been in existence since 1992?
Exactly. In 1992, a group of parents got together, concerned parents, to talk about their personal experiences with their children's health care that they received in their community hospitals. And after many discussions, there was a common theme that came out of those discussions, and that was that there were dramatic inconsistencies with the quality and delivery of care they were getting, the children were receiving in the Hudson Valley region.
In what way?
Well, some hospitals saw a lot of children, so the care typically was better than others that didn't see as many children. Inpatient care varied dramatically. Having specialists, pediatric specialists on staff at various hospitals really was very, very different depending on what part of the county you were in or the counties you were in. Mm-hmm. These parents decided to do something about it, and they formed the Children's Dream Foundation.
Wonderful name. I mean, it kind of sets up something. So what's the dream?
Well,
what's the objective?
It's a great question. Initially, the dream was to see the establishment of a full-service children's hospital in the Hudson Valley region. Mm-hmm. There isn't one here now. Mm-hmm. We're excited about the prospect that the Westchester Medical Center is beginning to fundraise for a over $70 million children's hospital, mm-hmm. and we're very, very excited about that, and we'll be supporting that. But at the time, we started out raising the public awareness that we needed a children's hospital in this area. It was very, very difficult. We spoke to county executives, we spoke to state senators, we talked to anybody that would listen to us, and the answer was really the same. They all thought it was a great idea, but at the time, if you think back 4 or 5 years ago, what was happening in the healthcare industry? People were cutting back. Medicare, Medicaid was being cut back. CEOs and hospitals had to find ways to use resources more effectively. And what fell through the cracks in many cases were the children's...
Matter of money?
Exactly. Economics always creeps in.
So what's the need? Let's get into it a little more specifically. Why is there a special need for children's care? Now, of course, we know that you need good pediatric care at all times in the hospital, day or night. Why is there a special need for children? Is it the degree of expertise, or is it the psychological reason? What's the reason for it?
Well, both. When it comes to medicine, children are not little adults. They react to trauma differently than adults do. Their illnesses tend to be different than adult illnesses. And indeed, there are pediatric subspecialties, whether they be for neurology or neurosurgery or urology or you name the gamut, pulmonary specialists. And what happens is that when a child comes into the, say, an emergency department with an asthma situation, they will not necessarily be seen by a pediatric specialist. I mean, the general perception in the public is that, as the doctor on ER, Doug Ross, everybody thinks that there'll be a Doug Ross in the emergency department throughout any hospital, and it's unfortunately not the case. So the child may be seen by an adult physician who most probably will be an excellent physician, but doesn't see that many children. And the way you get good at dealing with children's illnesses is practice and seeing a lot of kids.
So how does the Children's Dream Foundation overcome that problem?
Well, in a number of ways. Our mission is to improve the quality and delivery of children's health care throughout the Hudson Valley region. And we do that through a number of initiatives. One, we receive grant requests from hospitals that are looking to improve their pediatric initiatives and services, whether they be equipment requests, specialized pediatric equipment requests, education requirements, or program requirements. They will submit a request to the foundation. Our board will review it, pass it on to our medical advisory board. The medical advisory board is made up of physicians covering many, many hospitals and many, many specialties. We then will get a recommendation back from the medical advisory board and act on that. It may be to fund a $5,000 piece of equipment or a $150,000 program, depending on what the request is.
Do you also take the initiative, and you work with local hospitals in the whole Hudson Valley area,
Absolutely.
Westchester and further north?
Yes, 7 counties.
7 counties. Now, so do you go and say, you need this, or you should have this, rather than waiting for them to come to you and say, we need money?
Well, what's interesting is that we have, as the foundation continues to grow, we have more representatives in the community areas. And we find that we get phone calls from parents or grandparents saying, my hospital doesn't have this, or can you help? Is there something that the Children's Dream Foundation can do? And we will look at that particular program or piece of equipment and see whether or not we can help.
In the treatment of patients, there's so much talk about the need to treat the family as well, particularly with children. There must be some understanding that the parents, especially with children, that there must be some way for the parents to be with the children, or the children to know that their parents are there.
Very important, very important. I'll give you a perfect example. The Children's Dream Foundation funded a concentrated care unit at St. Agnes Hospital in White Plains. This is a unit that's a very, very special unit. It has high-tech monitoring equipment, one-on-one patient-nurse care. These are for kids. This unit is for kids that will require a little more monitoring than the normal child will on the general pediatric floor, but not intensive care. It's sort of in the middle. What's special about this unit is that the parents can be with the children all the time. And that was one of the criteria when we helped fund that unit. It's a terrific unit. It gets used, unfortunately, a lot because a lot of kids tend to need that kind of concentrated care. But it is a perfect example of how you tie in the parent care with the pediatric medical care.
Emergency room, you mentioned before. Emergency room is a scary place for anybody. It's a scary place if you go in there, whether you're ill, and listen to someone in the next curtained-off space
Very true.
being treated. For children, it must be devastating.
It's horrifying. It's horrifying. And you segue me into another project that we did at United Hospital, recently completed. United has created a new model. Within their emergency department, adult emergency department. They have sectioned off an area that is strictly for children. It's child-friendly. The idea is that let's treat the child in the emergency department without having to admit them into the hospital for an overnight stay, so that it's set up so that parents can spend, if there's a period of time, whether it's 6 hours or 8 hours of observation, they can do that in the emergency department, in the children's area in the emergency department, so they don't hear many of those horrifying screams or groans that you might hear in an adult area. And the kids can be comfortable with their parents while they're being observed or treated.
How does it work? How does the foundation work? Is it primarily, or is it an important function, getting money so that it can pay for the things that it wants to do?
Exactly.
Where does the money come from?
We do special events. We raise money through special events, through black tie events or concerts. We have a golf outing. We go out with a major donor solicitation, and we try to raise as much money as we can so that we can put the money back into all the community hospitals in a very constructive way.
Corporate support is
as
vital,
well.
isn't
Absolutely.
it? And
this past concert was supported by many, many corporations, including Cigna Healthcare partnered with us, and Cigna did a terrific job. They've been our partner really for the past 3 years. This year, in particular, they have really gone well beyond what we had ever hoped for, and they're great friends to children and to the Children's Dream Foundation. But they're not the only ones. Entex Information Systems in this particular area in Rybrook has done a terrific job, and IBM and Hewlett-Packard, and I can go on and on and on. They've done a terrific job for us, supporting us.
I think one of the things that's most interesting, I know I can speak about this personally, is that everybody can identify with the need to provide good care for children. I've often said your most precious possession, really, and for which most parents today or at any time really have no great training despite all the books that are written on the subject. And emotionally, it must be tearing to go through a situation and not know where to go and not make sure that you're getting the best of care. It certainly makes a lot of sense to have an organization such as yours, which is out there to do it. We talked about some of your accomplishments. How about some of the other things? And then we'll talk about some of the things that are in the works.
Okay, well, at Sound Shore Hospital in New Rochelle, we've funded a major portion of the neonatal intensive care equipment for their Level 2 nursery. It's a terrific unit. Sound Shore is one of those units that sees a lot of babies, a lot of neonates, and they do need specialized high-tech equipment, and the foundation was able to fund that. As I mentioned, United and St. Agnes, the Children's Rehabilitation Center in White Plains. It's a tremendous facility, and we were instrumental in raising money for 5 medical suites, as well as supported their aquatic center for therapeutic purposes for children. The list goes on and on. We're very, very excited about this current year and the Emergency Medical Services Initiative. It's interesting. Parents think that when they need the services of their emergency department, everything's there, everything will be fine, and we don't really want to think about the situation where there might not, where we'd go to the emergency department and there might be a problem. We're interested in raising the public awareness, to ask questions. Ask what's good about your emergency department in your local community hospital. Ask what they do well. Do they have a pediatric anesthesiologist on staff? Is there a plastic surgeon, a pediatric plastic surgeon? If your child is playing soccer and ends up getting a couple of stitches after a game on the forehead, should he be seen or she be seen by a pediatric plastic surgeon? So there are lots of questions that I think parents should ask in general, just to know more about what's happening at their local community hospital.
What I want to do is to get in a little bit about what your plans are, your future plans. Well, first, I do want to remind our viewers that we're talking today about the Children's Dream Foundation and the wonderful work that it's doing. And my guest today is Scott Yablon, who is the president of the Children's Dream Foundation. If you could have your druthers, if you had all the money in the world, how about some of the things that are on the near future burner and maybe in the distant?
Well, if money was no issue, we would be thrilled to build the Children's Hospital and fund that Children's Hospital at the Medical Center. That's a terrific dream, and it was really the dream of the Children's Dream Foundation 5 years ago. That being undertaken right now at the Medical Center, we believe that the area to concentrate in is all the local community hospitals. More than 75,000 children annually will be seen in the emergency departments in the Hudson Valley region. It's a staggering number.
It is.
But it's a small number in relation to the amount of adults that are seen. And so the hospitals typically will put their resources, their dollars and their equipment in that area, the adult area, and understandably so. The Children's Dream Foundation wants to fill the gaps. We want to make sure that if your child or grandchild goes into the emergency department, they will be seen by an experienced pediatric medical professional who has the right-sized equipment. If a 3-month-old goes in or a 2-year-old goes into the emergency department, giving them an adult-sized oxygen mask is not the most helpful. We want to make sure that the right equipment, the right-sized equipment, is in those emergency departments. And the experience level of all the doctors, nurses, and technicians is up to where it needs to be.
Will you ever achieve your goal?
Absolutely. We won't fail.
Of course, you'll set new goals.
Well, unfortunately, the work will never be done, because there's always a new technology, there's always something new coming out, and we really want to make sure that our children and our children's children are provided for in the Hudson Valley hospitals.
Tell us some of the things that have happened that you can point to with pride as a result of your effort, not only as far as the hospitals are concerned. Survivor stories, I suppose, is what I'm searching for.
Well, clearly, probably the most significant feedback I get is from the concentrated care unit. The parents that spend time with their children, a lot of the kids have brain tumors, have serious surgery, chronic illnesses, and will spend time in that concentrated care unit. And just by virtue of the fact that the parents can be with them, it makes such a difference. And some go in for not a serious surgery. They'll come out as a post-surgical patient into the concentrated care unit. And again, having the child wake up and seeing mom or dad is really terrific and makes a difference. Obviously, all the neonates that get seen at Sound Shore and White Plains Hospital as well, we funded a new observation area at White Plains Hospital, new lighting and all kinds of things, that high-tech types of things in the nurseries, all make a difference. And the feedback we get is from parents that are very, very glad that we had made those investments in those hospitals.
The people who formed this organization, who are active in it, have they all had some experiences with illness of children? Is that what brings you people together? Of course, your medical profession, you have a lot of people who are on your board or are on a medical advisory board and are members of this.
Exactly. All the medical advisory board members are doctors, but the board is predominantly lay people. And indeed, most of us involved with the board of directors have had some experience with our children in an emergency situation or in a surgical situation. There are some parents that have children that are chronically ill, and they provide a reality check for many of us when we think we're doing the right thing and we're providing resources and funds in the right place. It'll always be a mom on the board that gets up and says, that's not right. We need to do something a little differently. We can't have kids wait in an emergency department 3 hours before they're seen, and we need to. What can we do about that?
Reality check. It's
Indeed.
Really. There's no end to this. It will go on because the need will never be completely filled. The cup will never be filled, I suppose.
The Children's Hospital will be built, and they will see the most seriously ill kids in the region. It will be excellent. We're very positive about that. We deal with many of the physicians, but most of the kids in the Hudson Valley will be seen by the local community hospital. That's where they'll go for 98% of the kinds of things that are typical as they grow up. And our goal is to make sure that it's the best care possible in those local community hospitals.
On the local level. But you made a very definite statement. You said that the Children's Hospital will be built Is there a timetable on that?
I believe they're shooting for 2002 to be completed, 2003, somewhere in there. They have a foundation set up already, and we're very excited. The Children's Dream Foundation, will be supporting fundraising efforts as well for the new Children's Hospital. We think it's critical. I mean, certainly the Hudson Valley needs to have that kind of excellence provided for our kids, and we're going to be very active in helping that happen.
As president of the organization, I suppose as president of any organization, but one as active and as important as this one, it must take a lot of your time. Now, you're chief financial officer at Forbes. How can you devote the time to it? How do you make the time is really the question.
You have to make the time. I think everybody needs to make the time. Everybody that's involved with the Children's Dream Foundation, they're very, very busy people. If they're not full-time working in an organization such as a Forbes, they're parents who are dealing on a regular basis with chronically ill children. It's important because we have to do it. Somebody has to do it. And I sleep very well at night.
But you also think a lot about this organization.
Absolutely.
I'm sure. Are there any plans to change things, and is it just drive? And
well, we're growing, and we're creating an excitement about the Children's Dream Foundation. Concerts like the Melissa Manchester concert, last year's Gregory Hines concert was also helped to raise the awareness of what we were doing. The golf outing and the corporate sponsorships, reaching out into 30 hospitals in 7 counties within the Hudson Valley. We'll be putting in emergency systems to help emergency departments in dealing with children. One of the things that we're currently going to do, we're going to put it's a system in each emergency department. It's called the Braslow-Hinkle system. I'll give you an example. Child comes into the emergency department. A physician will take what is equivalent of a tape measure, measure the child. The tape measure will be color-coded. Whatever color the child reaches, all the right-sized equipment will be in a drawer, a color-coded cart drawer. And they'll be able to open that drawer, open a bag, and all the needles and IV tubes and blood pressure cuffs, everything that would be appropriate for that size child will be in there. And we're going to roll that out into the ambulance corps as well, because the folks that first see your child or a grandchild when they would dial 911, normally the first on the scene are the ambulance, the EMTs. Yeah. They will have this color-coded system as well. They'll be able to measure the child, go right to a bag that they'll be able to carry with them. And
one never thinks of things like that, and yet it seems so basic and so essential. Is there a parallel or other organizations similar to yours operating in different parts of the country?
Interesting. Not really. There are organizations that focus on specific illnesses or diseases, and there are excellent organizations, and they do a terrific job. But the Children's Dream Foundation really goes across a broad spectrum and tries to deal with the full spectrum of healthcare issues for children.
Do you get inquiries from around the country about what you're doing?
Well, actually, around the country and around the world, our website has been accessed by people. I've had some from South America asking if we can help, and they do go out and read what we have to say out there.
You have a website. We should give that address as long as we're talking about it.
Okay, it's www.thecdf.org. And we have...
that again.
It's www.thecdf.org. And,
okay, CDF for Dream Foundation.
Right.
.org. And what's on that website?
Well, we have just a whole host of information that talks about who we are and what we do and our accomplishments. But we also have doctors write in articles on things like rabies, things like Lyme disease, influenza, scoliosis, allergies, and so parents could go out onto the website, and if a child is having a situation that may be allergic to something, they can access this and get a lot of information about it.
Do you find that's effective? Of course, the world is into the internet, and it's certainly a place to be so people can reach out and find you. I imagine that I guess you're on the leading edge in everything else that you're doing. You might just as well be the leading edge in this.
Well, it's interesting. If you don't know the address, if you type in Children's Health health or healthcare, our website will pop up and it will lead you through a whole host of information.
That's very interesting. We'll put that address up on the closing credits so that in case anybody didn't have a chance to write it down, and there's so many viewers that do have access to the internet that they'll want to do that. Let's talk a little bit more about your accomplishments. You've talked about some of them. Some of the other things that you've done that you point with pride to.
Well, we've created a video. It's a 6.5, 7-minute video about what a child goes through when they're going to have surgery. And what it does is step by step, from the day before, from getting a blood test and understanding what the operating room will look like and who will be talking to them and who will be touching them and wheeling them in there in the wheelchair or whatever, right through the whole process, so that not only does the child get a sense of what to expect, what color will the masks be, and what will they look like.
Who's it available to?
It's available to anybody, and anybody that writes to us at our address, we will be happy to send it out to them. There's a small charge for it.
Well, is there a telephone number that people can call to get more information?
Yes, there is. They can 212-620-2409.
Repeat that.
212-620-2409.
That'll be very helpful. The fact is that you're doing a great job. And I think the fact that you're doing such a great job is the reason that you, with the busyness that you are, so involved with it. It seems to me that this is something that every parent should be interested in, because it could happen to you.
Exactly.
Is basically what it is. Your own experiences, you've had some incidents with your own children?
Both of my children have had surgeries growing up. They're both in college and 110% fine these days. But we've had experiences going through the healthcare system, and frankly, they needed improvement when we were going through them, and so we've sort of gotten involved with it. Yeah.
And I thank you so much for coming here and talking to us today, and I appreciate it very much, and we've run out of time. And again, thanks for coming. My guest today is Scott Yablon, who is the president of the Children's Dream Foundation, a wonderful organization. I'm so glad that we had the opportunity to talk about it today. I'm Norman Liss. The name of the program is The Way to Go. And until next time, take care of yourself.